So Nicholas Casano,
Yeah.
NickyCass, like what do the homies call you? Because I feel like I'm fast becoming creeping in on being one of your friends.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I go by Nick, like just by nature, and then
Yeah.
my mom calls me Nicholas when she's angry, and my ex girlfriend called me Nicholas. But that's really it. Who calls me like people who call me Nicholas? Everything is Nick or Nicky. But I like Nick, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
Nicky is just it's just something that like was it flowed in the name like Nicky Cass. It just flipped like I don't know. It just made sense. But on the street, Nick.
Nick. All right. Well, I feel like whatever you're choosing is working. Like life's been kind of crazy for you ever since we kind of became pals. Like what?
Yeah.
First of all, where are you based out of? You're based out of New York, right? What part of New York?
New York. I'm in like the suburbs of New York. So there's like Manhattan,
Hmm.
and then there's like the outer part where it's like the suburbs, and then if you go south, you got Long Island. I'm
Yeah.
like north Manhattan in the suburbs. I got the best of both worlds because I could get into the city in 35 minutes, but then I could be up in the mountains in 35 minutes as well. So I'm in like a perfect spot.
You just take the ferry over and boom, crush the city and you get out.
I don't even take the ferry. I go over the GW. I right
Oh,
on the
okay.
bridge. Yeah,
Oh, so you're
not
one
by
of the few people in New York that owns a car. Because I feel like when I lived in New York, nobody owned a car.
yeah, well, in the city, it's different. In the city, nobody's got a car. Everyone walks everywhere. Everyone takes an Uber. But then you'll see, like, sometimes you'll be walking around, and like some people who are really like set up in the city, they got the G wagons and the Ferraris and shit like that.
Oh
Those are the
yeah, I
people
don't.
who
I
drive.
don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, me neither. No, I don't know nothing about that. I drive a Nissan. No, I got nothing to do with that. Nothing to do with
I don't know, man. We were gonna jump on here and hang, which I'm excited to kick it with you because you're a great guy, man. I'm always laughing every time we exchange
that.
texts. But I hit you up, and again, you were making money, dude. You had to be like, hey, I can't make it on time. I'm cashing these checks. Like, what's going on?
I had every intention of being very prompt because I take pride in being on time. Like my baseball coach always told me, he said, if you're not 5 minutes early, you're late. And apparently that's a rule that like many people like don't understand. And so I take pride in it. But this time I got caught up because I was posting a video, right? And then the timer was going on off on the cameo. And I was
Yeah.
like, I gotta post this video and then I gotta do the cameo. So I apologize for being late. Won't happen again. I promise.
I'm just kidding you, man. I'm
No, but
happy
it's
you're busy.
important. No, but it's important. Being on time is important because you
Well,
got the first impression.
well, again, I'm not anyone that you need to worry about that. I love you already. So I'm just glad we're getting to hang and like hopefully I can maneuver some things. I want you to come on the pod sometime. But before that, since we already kind of finished season one, I wanted to jump on here and just kind of catch up. So when we double back, I can
Yeah.
reference all the things that you want to accomplish because I feel like they're all going to be done by the time I get you on my pod.
Well, it's funny you say that because I've noticed throughout this whole entire journey of like social media and being like brought up in this whole thing, like you really don't know when you're gonna accomplish your goals. And sometimes it happens a lot faster than you anticipate, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. But then there are times where it might not happen for a while, but like you just at least for me, and I don't know if this is a cocky thing to say, I just feel like I have the ability to accomplish the things that I want to, and they're no matter how impossible they seem, like at some point I feel like I'll be in a position to where like I can say that I can it's a attainable goal or stuff or something like that because I don't know, like I had one of my goals was to hit 100,000 on Instagram, and I write it on my vision board, and I wrote that back in like November, and I was
Yeah.
like, by 1 year time today, by Christmas of next year, I want to have 100,000 on Instagram, and
Yeah.
it yeah. I mean,
Hey, we get it, man. We get it. Some of us don't
oh
have
come on,
100K.
come on, don't do that to me. Nah, I'm very blessed. Listen, I'm in a very blessed position.
No, man, you're the man. And honestly, anyone that watches this or gets to see kind of this conversation, they're going to understand and be rooting for you. You're an easy guy to root for, which is what I love about you.
I appreciate that, and I never really that never really made sense to me, and I'm not one to toot my own horn or like take credit for a lot of stuff. So like when someone tells me that, I'm like, Wow. Okay. And I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I just
man, it's
don't know
cool.
how to answer it. I don't know.
So how did all this start? Because I don't even know your story. I mean, the best thing you could ever do is get it from the horse's mouth. So I was like, man, I
Oh
would
yeah.
love to hear how this started. Like,
Oh
was
yeah.
this a goal? Is this intentional, or were you just doing something that you found funny and cool and interesting and it exploded?
Yeah. So exactly what you just said. Like, I mean, this you could date it that you could date this. Ooh, sorry, I'm 20 and still going through puberty. You hear that voice crack? You
Yeah, it
could
was nice.
you could date this back to like the early days of like me being just like the class clown, just like that dude who was always trying to make people laugh and be an entertainer. Like my aunt tells me all the time, like, "Oh, you're such an entertainer. You were meant to entertain." That never really made sense to me because I was always so passionate about playing baseball,
Yeah.
and um, baseball was my first love, was my first passion. But like in the midst of like practice, games, on the bus, hanging out with the homies, like I was always a kid to make everyone laugh. And I would always do the New Yorker Italian like accent here and there, like, hey, everybody, let's go, get on the line. Like, and people would my teammates would love it, my friends would love it. And so I played up until my sophomore year of college, and I don't know. College sort of like sucked the fun out of the game for me, and it was hard to dedicate so much time to playing, and because I'm also very passionate about fitness and working out, and I was a certified personal trainer at the time. I still am. I
Yeah.
really want to focus on that aspect of it, so I ended up stop playing baseball, and I started working at the gym at school.
Hmm.
And I go to visit my friends up at one of the colleges that they go to. And this is when TikTok was like first starting to like come up. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
was TikTok was the thing. Like a month or two before the quarantine started, like when it was Charlie D'Amelio doing like all of this and everything
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And my friends were like, yo, you need to start like making videos. I think you'd be great at it.
Mhm.
And I was like, like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I didn't want to get involved in that space because to me, it was just like a big thirst trap act. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And one night, and I remember like it was yesterday, it was 7:52. The gym closes at 8. And I downloaded the app and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to make a video.
Yeah.
So I go, can I curse on this, by the way?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Come on.
So I'm on it. I go over to, and I'm in the gym and I make a video, and they had that long face filter and the one that I still use today. And I was like,
Yeah.
this would be perfect for like an old like Boomba, whatever. And I make like a 15-second video and I posted, I think nothing of it. The next morning I wake up, I gotta go take a shit. And I open up TikTok and the video is popping off. Like
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of views, comments, everything like that. And I'm freaking out because like it's so new to me. I don't know what's going on.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, like this is happening. And you ever in life like have these moments where you don't know why you do something and you just do it? Like you just sort of
Daily, every
yeah,
day.
yeah. It's like you make a decision without much thought and like it's just something that sort of happens. So one of those decisions for me was to send that video that was blown up to everybody, every like Italian account that was on Instagram that I followed. And I
Hmm.
don't know what prompted me to do that, but I just did it. And the accounts saw the video and they started and they posted them. All these accounts posted the video, and I was like, "Yo, this is pretty cool."
Yeah.
And buddies were busting on me and stuff like that. Oh, the kid's gonna need paparazzi, this and that, like typical shit.
Yeah.
And
Real friend stuff. Like that's some real friend stuff.
exactly, 100% keeping me humble.
Yeah.
And so I was getting a lot of hate in the comments saying like, "Oh, this kid's not Italian. He's blonde haired, blue eyed, whatever." And that sort of like it didn't hurt. It was just like I'm just like not. I'm just such the exact opposite of like one of the like fake Italians because I don't know if you know this, but the worst thing you could say to an Italian is like you're not Italian. You know what I mean? Like
No, yeah, I didn't know that. But I have an Italian friend that before you
yeah.
and I became buddies, I would send him your videos and be like, man, this makes me think of you all the time, man. I love this guy.
Yeah, no, but when someone calls you out and says you're not a blood, like you're not, your family's not from Italy or stuff like that, as an Italian, we we get upset about. Like we really do. It bothers us. So I didn't want to bring that message out to like the people who were seeing the video. So I kind of freaked out and didn't make a video for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, my
what
friends,
was the first video? I don't even know what the first video was.
the first video was it was like non-Italians when you're going out. And like the kid says, all right, Dad, I'm going out. I'll be back in like an hour. And then the dad's like, yeah, sure, buddy, no problem. And then the Italian kid is like, all right, Dad, I'm going out. I'll be back in a few minutes. And the Italian dad's like, what do you mean you're going out? It's 8 p.m. on a Wednesday. The fuck are you doing going out? And like, that was it. It was
right.
like
okay.
Quick little 15-second video.
Yeah.
And it popped off. But then my friends were in my ear because I wasn't making any more videos because I just didn't do it to create a reaction. Right. It was just boring. I just did it. So I started making these off the boat style Italian videos with like no, and stuff like that because I was so worried that like people were gonna knock me for not being Italian. So I was like, oh, you don't think I'm Italian? Fine. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you the most accurate old school Italian representations that exist, and then you'll see who's really Italian. And
right.
So I did that out of spite, and the videos did good. And then I was getting my name out there a little bit. Like I had less than 1,000 followers on Instagram and then less than 10,000 on TikTok. And I slowly like hit 10, 20,000 on TikTok, then like, I don't know, 2,500 on Instagram, but I was getting recognized a little bit.
Yeah. Was it fun? Did it start becoming fun to you when people were like catching on?
And now we're in the quarantine. So now it's like, there's nothing to do besides work out and make these videos. And so I'm saying to myself, like, okay. And like I said, this is another one of those moments where I just like didn't really think about the decision. I just did it. Like I wasn't, I don't know. I just did it. And there was no plan. There was no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I would wake up, I would work out, I would make the videos and see what happened. And so that was going on for a little bit. And then my buddy texted me one day saying, you really got to bring back the, hey, how you doing? Like that sort of stuff. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to get back into that space. And I said, you know what? Fine. Fuck it. I'm going to do it. And so the first video I made with that character was the Italian versus Americans at the Little League baseball games.
So that's the first one I saw. Yeah, hold on, Blue.
Yeah. Time, Blue. Hey, Blue. Hey. Do a couple of these. Yeah, so I was doing that. And I made that one. And immediately, like from the jump, like the second I posted, it was like going crazy. And I got that weird feeling again where I wanted to send it to people. And so I sent it over to Barstool. I DM Barstool, like complete shot in the dark. I was like, I think you guys are stupid if you don't post this, or something like some jerk off thing to say. And they opened it and they sent me the form to submit it. And I was freaking out. I was like, no way this is happening. And this was like early in the morning. I submitted the video. They didn't post it all day. And then around 9:00 that night, they posted it. And dude, ever since then, it just, my life changed. Like I literally, if it wasn't for them, I don't think that I wouldn't be where I am, but I also think it would take a lot longer to get to where I currently am if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, man. I mean, that's how it really started. But I'm for
I've got a good friend at Barstool, and she loves it there. Says says nothing but amazing things.
Yeah, no, the coolest, because I went over to the HQ, and it's such a cool environment. It's such a laid back, like just a bunch of like guys like me and you who just want to create content and just, like, that's all they got to do. I mean, you get a few people here and there that are like,
sure, of course. Well, that's life. That's like anything.
100%, but such a cool place for real.
Yeah, if you're ever over there and you see Casey Smith, tell her that we're buddies. She's great.
Casey Smith, she's the one who does the football, no? Yeah, no, she's cool. Like she's cool as hell.
Yeah, love her. Great girl.
Absolutely, I will. I follow her on Instagram. I think.
All right. So, would you say, obviously, one of the things that I had always wondered was like the first break in the dam of like, you were like, all right, cool, this is legit. Obviously, Barstool posts that shit.
Yeah.
It becomes legit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. When the first time they posted was like, to me, I just thought it was like the coolest shit ever. Like I didn't really know what was to come of it. I just like soaked up the moment. You know, it's kind of a crazy moment because
Of course.
yeah, because like you go through these emotions where it's like you can't believe that it's happening and you're excited and you have people reaching out to you from years ago, like years and like saying, yo, I saw you on Barstool, that's crazy. But then you also, I got very like, not anxious, but I got very nervous because it's like there's so many people who are seeing my face and it's
Yeah.
out. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
it
yeah.
is. And,
Yeah, it ain't coming back.
yeah, no, I can't recover from this. So
Yeah.
um, that was just sort of like I guess like a natural human reaction. But the moment I really knew that like this was actually going to be something was probably like the third time they posted like one of my videos. Like if I could get back there like a second and third time, like I definitely have something to offer. Like I could definitely
Right.
provide value. And then I went into the HQ, film content over there. So once I knew that I had them on my side and they actually enjoyed my content, I knew that like this could be something for real.
What's a view or a DM or a like that you looked at? Because you had mentioned something about Jen Aniston. Like,
Oh,
has there been someone to look at your stuff and you've been like, okay, here we go, let's go, now it's breaking?
yeah, a lot. And you know, I don't want to get emotional, but there have been moments where I've come across like my idols growing up, and you know, some of them follow me now, and some of them, you know, show love on my posts, and I've got the opportunity to talk to these people. But one of the greatest things I've ever that's ever happened in terms of like someone who I look up to recognizing my work is probably like Bryce Harper.
Yeah. Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, I Julian Edelman liked a couple of my videos. You know, I mean, these are guys. These are
Yeah.
guys I like. I had posters of these fucking guys on my wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then like you take a kid and like me, where I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just doing it, and to see someone like appreciate it who has done so much for like the sport that I love,
Mhm.
show that like reciprocation back and like say that they're a fan of like my work. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, what? Like, are you nuts? Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Your mind's it's hard to process, I would imagine. I mean, I
Very,
wouldn't know. I wouldn't know, but it would be hard. It would be hard for me to process.
very hard to process. And it's hard. It's hard. Well, not so much more now, but like when it first started happening, when I first started to like get to know these people, um, and there's others, but I don't
Yeah,
know
of
how.
course.
Yeah, like I don't like to name drop it, but you asked the
Sure.
question. But um, to see them as just like you and me
Yeah, of
is
course.
hard in the jump because all you want to do is like tell them how much you love them, but at the
Right.
same time you don't want them to see you as like just like a fanboy. You know what I mean? Like
Oh no, of course.
I would love to like build a relationship with these people and connect and stuff like that. So at the jump, I was always like, like couldn't fathom it. But now I'm in a place where like I see them just as a normal person, and I want to provide you value, just like the qualities that I have, just like the qualities that you have. Not
Of
oh,
course.
I want to sniff your ass. You know what I mean? Like for I don't want to sniff any of their
Right.
asses. It's just a term.
No, I get it. No, totally. And you will. I mean, obviously this is pretty young. So this is what, about a
Eight
year
months.
old, this whole journey of yours,
Yeah,
which
8 months. 8 months.
it's going to continue,
Yeah.
for as long as you want it to continue. You're obviously very talented in that regard. And I think anytime you can make like laughter in this past year is a premium. Like it's a
Yeah. Oh,
real
yeah.
currency.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And you know, like that's the other part that's hard to comprehend is like the fact that you know, I'm not gonna call myself a comedian because that was never like a goal of mine. But I guess right now I'm an Instagram comedian, and
Yeah.
in comedy, They
You're a
always
personality.
yeah, just
You're an amazing
personality.
personality.
Yeah, just a personality. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course.
But when in comedy they say like if you could be accepted by everybody and everybody laughs at your stuff, like it's not just one demographic. Like I'm
Right.
making people who aren't Italian laugh while doing Italian sort of like stereotypical comedy. Like to me, you know, that fills me up just knowing that like it's universal. So it's been very, very, very cool.
Yeah, what's the Jen Aniston hook? Have you sent some of your videos to Jen Aniston yet? Like, what's the deal there?
Listen, first of all, this is my lock screen. Right here.
Mm-hmm.
Is Jen Aniston and I, we go way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a crush on Jennifer Aniston probably since I saw my first like Adam Sandler movie with her in it. And I don't send her any of my videos. I've sent her one DM and that's it. And the DM just says love you. That's it. And
yeah, can't say it any better than that.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, like I don't want to be like like everybody else saying, "Oh, nah, love you." That's it. That's all you got to do. She knows it. So when I meet her one day in person, I don't have to worry about all the weird shit that I've said, like
Correct.
in the DM. So all she's gonna see is love you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I love it.
She's gorgeous. You gotta. I've been thinking about this story you were telling me about all
yeah,
week.
old Jen Ann. Yeah, so I have she and I share a very good mutual friend, someone that's very high up in her life and someone that's also very high up in my life. But Jen and I don't know one another. And I was in New York when this happened, so this will tie it into you. So I'm at work. I'm working at McFadden Saloon on 42nd and 2nd in Manhattan, and I'm working happy hour. It's probably 7:30. I get a text from my buddy, which I wasn't supposed to have my phone on me, but I just didn't care. So
Right.
I see my friend text me, and I open it up, and he's like, "Yo, what are you doing right now?" And I left the bar. I was like, "Yo, I'm at work, man. I'm done at around 10:30. What's good?" And this is a very accomplished person. So this is, selfishly, if it was anybody else, I probably wouldn't have opened it. But I'm like, oh, cool. Like, this guy lives in LA. We've been friends for years. He's doing really well in his life, and he's usually doing cool shit. So I was like, all right, look, I'm done around 10:30. And he was like, all right, well, I need you to be done around 8. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Like,
yeah.
I work for the bar. The bar is not going to be like, oh yeah, cool.
Yeah.
So he tells me Jen Aniston's birthday. I want you to come to Jen Aniston's birthday party with me. So I'm like, all right, cool. Immediately get sick. Immediately.
Yeah. Wait. What did you tell your boss?
Like, oh man, I don't know what it was. It might have been the salad I had before the shift. Something is going completely wrong. Like, I have got to go home. It's not good.
And there's no better, God forbid he finds out that you weren't sick. There's no better excuse than, oh, I was actually invited to Jennifer Aniston's birthday party. If he gets mad at you for that, then,
he found out, because after I tell you this story, you're going to realize I told everybody.
Okay, here we go.
So I'm like, all right, cool. It was probably 7:30, and he was like, I need you to be done by 8. So I literally left the bar in the I think I had like a old Garth Brooks t-shirt on and some ripped up jeans and some boots. I didn't know what I was just going to work.
Right.
So I go meet my friend, one of the greatest guys ever, and he's still a very close friend of mine. And he's like, yeah, we're going to go in. It's Jen's birthday. We've rented out the whole place. It's just going to be her friends and family. So I go in and walk up to her. And this is, I want to say, very close after the Brad split. It's probably within it's probably been a year or two, maybe max, since the split. And obviously that storyline went on forever. I don't know.
Right. 100%.
So I'm starting to look around, and I'm realizing that all her friends have brought a friend to meet Jen.
Okay.
And it wasn't specified what that was for, but it seemed like it was her birthday, and all her friends were introducing her to nice people. Now, professionally, I had just finished playing pro ball. Like, I didn't know what I was doing with my life. I was bartending to keep my head above water while I tried to figure it out. And so I went up and met her, and she could not have been nicer. Like, oh, cool, happy birthday. How's your day going? She told me what she did. We talked for a couple minutes.
Well,
and then
how, like, in person, like, what is she like that beautiful?
Yeah, crazy, beautiful, gorgeous, but like just really mad cool. Like you said, you don't want to be a fanboy. And I hadn't done Friends, and actually your boy's been on Friends. I was on Friends, so like I've been on the show. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit, I didn't know that.
Well, not a lot of people do, and I don't talk about it, but it was like in the background. But like I'm on an episode.
Oh,
you
gotta send me the clip. I gotta see that. You can't just slide that in there without like showing proof.
But so I was definitely a fan of her work, and obviously she's incredibly hot. So it was a cool conversation. But again, like one of her best friends in the world is one of my best friends in the world. So that kind of helped bridge it of like, oh, cool, it's Jennifer. She's super cool. So we went back and sat down and started having drinks. And I shit you not, I promise you, this is a true story. It's myself, Rosie Huntington Whitley. Do you know who that is? Like
no idea.
Have you ever seen Transformers? It was one of the Transformers movies. She replaced Megan Fox.
Okay, yeah.
She's like a Sports Illustrated supermodel.
By face, I'd be like, okay, yeah, I've seen her before. Yep.
So I sit down, and again, nice as human. We start talking, we're having some drinks and just hanging out. And she's friends with my friend, of course. And we're having a good time. And I lean over to my friend. I'm like, hey, I don't realistically think there's a chance that Jen Aniston has any interest in me. What's the deal with this girl?
No way. Go ahead. Keep going.
And he was like, no, first of all, that's Jason Statham's fiance. I was like, good to know. Good to know.
The Rosie chick.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Go.
I was like, cool, done. I will not be speaking to her.
Not a guy you want to mess with. Jason Statham. No. Okay, go ahead. All right.
No, and to this point, like it's just been nice conversation. Like I didn't say anything. I was just, polite.
Yeah.
But it was also surreal. I was like, Jason Statham's fiance. Okay.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
We'll keep it moving. So then I turned to my right, and Kid Rock is sitting next to me.
Oh wow.
So we're having a drink. I say what's up to him, and I'm not going to say what he was doing at the time, but he looked at me and he literally, this is a true story. He's looking around and it's like celebrity,
yeah.
Jennifer Aniston. And he looks at me and he's just like, how'd you get in here, man?
Oh.
I was like, hey, man, I snuck in, man. Don't knock the hustle. Don't tell anybody. And he just laughed. And he was like, cool, man. Let me pour you a drink. That's awesome. Like, but yeah, so that's the Jen Aniston story. And the kicker of it is before she left, she tapped me on my shoulder and said, hey, Greg, I want to thank you for being so kind and so sweet. Have a wonderful night. And I was like, yeah, no problem. I didn't even correct her. I was like, yeah, I'll be Greg. I don't care.
That's unbelievable. Wait, so you gotta feel a little like out of, like, even me nowadays, like in certain situations, I feel so out of place. Like when Kid Rock said that to you, like, did you guys talk after that, or did he just pour you a drink?
No, he was joking around. He was laughing, and then he started asking me about myself. He was like, oh, so what do you do? Like, again, this was a private party, so you had to either know Jennifer or be a +1 of one of her really close friends. So I think that was just his way of like, yo, what's your attachment to everybody?
Right. Hey, Greg.
Yeah, she was like, hey, Greg, thanks for being so sweet. I was like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, exactly. For Jennifer Aniston, I'll be David. Call me David. I'll be like, yes, sir, David Kashana. How you doing? I don't care.
Yeah. So
how does that feel? How did that feel to be like in there and like looking left and right and seeing all these people in the movies? Like, to me, I'd be like, holy shit. Like, this is nuts.
Well, so at that point in time, and again, I don't really know what's going to happen with me. I fell into entertainment because of, previous relationships. Like I dated an actress that it didn't work out, but like I met a bunch of people in entertainment through that relationship. Yeah. And then, so at the time it was just really cool because I didn't feel envious in any way because that wasn't my path. All I knew was basketball. Like all I cared about was sports. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh man, it's super cool to be in here. But I played basketball in college at Appalachian State, and then I played professionally in Germany.
Oh wow, bro! The European basketball leagues are no joke.
Well, anytime someone's going to pay you money to play a game, those people, it's serious business.
And they take good care of you, though. They take good care of you over there. In
I had a
Europe.
good time.
I have a family member who played in Italy, and like he was saying how they paid for the living. He got paid this salary. He was going out. They gave you meal money and shit like that. It's like, bro, like some people like to, he only plays pro in wherever, bro. That guy's living better than 90% of the people you know. They're taking care. That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a cool, and like you said earlier, I mean, to be able to have my college paid for and be able to experience that, it was, it was a blessing, and I did. I worked really hard. Like I know I look really physically imposing, but I had to work really hard to get there. You know what I mean?
What position did you play?
I was a combo guard, so point guard, shooting guard.
Oh, yeah. So when you said you play ball every Monday, I'm thinking to myself, play ball. Was he talking about play basketball? You don't look like you play basketball, but I guarantee you that you would scrape anybody I know who's played. So because my uncle played, I don't know where he played, but he played somewhere. But you think to yourself, like, these guys aren't like as good as like the guys who play pro in the US, but like it's incredible to me how crazy good like pro basketball players are. It is.
I mean, I guarded Dwayne Wade in college, so I know exactly.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, I got a picture. I have to show it to you. I'll send it to you sometime of me in Sports Illustrated guarding Dwayne Wade.
Oh my goodness! Was he disgusting? How many points did he score on you?
Man, he had 3 at halftime. This is a true story. We're playing Marquette, and this is the year Marquette went to the Final Four. It was my senior year. And they had Travis Diener, who got drafted, Nick Novak, that was in the league for a minute, and then obviously Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade had like 3 points at halftime, and we were winning by 6 at Marquette. And, I mean, we were good. We won the SoCon. I think 20 games. And, I was first team all conference and all that other bullshit, but
so you're good. Like you're acting like you're like, but like you can fucking play, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I used to be all right, but this is a great story about Dwayne Wade, and I saw him later, and he was super kind later too. The first half, I'm guarding Dwayne Wade. One, he's faster, stronger, more athletic, and so I don't know if he was working on his game, but he literally was just settling for jump shots. Like that was the only way I was gonna even have any chance against someone like Dwayne Wade. So we come out of halftime. He's not having a great game at this point. We're winning, which is unheard of. And he looks at me, and it was the first possession. They're inbounding the ball, and he goes, "Hey man, sorry, we're going right to the block." And I looked at him. I was like, "Hey man, I'm just glad it took you a whole half to figure it out. No worries. Appreciate you taking half the game off." I think he finished with 30.
Oh my God. That's crazy. And like people, and what fascinates me about, especially basketball, is like being able to just like turn it on. You know what I mean? Like turn on that switch. Not a lot of sports you can flick on a switch like that. Like baseball, I mean, unless you're a pitcher, you don't have that much control to where you could say to yourself, okay, now it's time to turn it on. Because as a hitter, you can't control what pitch they're gonna throw. But in basketball, you can control what you do with that ball. You can control where you set up and where you take your jump shot. As a pitcher, a little bit, you can figure out what pitches you want to throw. But in basketball, and like with Jordan, he would just turn that shit on. LeBron too, like all these guys, like the great ones. That's crazy.
Yeah, this is the last story I'll tell you, because I want to get this back to you before we close up. But when I was in college, my first 2 years in college, I played in the Mid-American Conference at Bowling Green. Okay. And Akron, where LeBron played his high school games, because he was they moved all his games to a college arena so they could play. I think he was a sophomore at the time. I was a freshman. We were playing at Akron, and our game was on Saturday, but we had shoot around on a Friday. So, and again, I'm a freshman. I'm like, yo, I'm D1. I'm starting, like I'm nice. Like this is I've made it. I've arrived. Like we're legit.
Right.
The coaches come in from the other team, they're like, hey, y'all got to get off the court, man. We got a high school team coming through here tonight. They got a high school game. Y'all got to clear the court off. And I'm like, high school? Man, what are you talking about? What? They moved us out for LeBron's game because LeBron played all his high school games there. And I was like, who is this sophomore in high school that they're playing in college arenas and selling it out?
Yeah. Oh, that was like, and you would see like Shaq was showing up to the games. Friggin', all these guys were showing up to the games. It's almost like the Ball brothers. Remember the Ball brothers?
Oh yeah, because they're right out here. They're right down the road from where I live.
Yeah, I mean it was like 2.5 hours. You had to wait outside to go watch them. It's nuts. The camaraderie around high school basketball, and I think honestly, I mean I could talk about this shit for hours. Like I love talking about sports. Like just the camaraderie. You got the hoop mixtape. You got Ball is Life, like hoop mixtape, and like all that shit. Like when that like entity shows up to the court, like like something crazy is about to go down. I think it has a great like contribution to all those people. So like imagine if like LeBron didn't need hoop mixtape and all them to go up. But imagine if that existed today, it'd be crazy. He'd be selling out at NBA arenas.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he was one of the first guys I remember ESPN broadcasting. I was in college and I was like, okay, his senior year playing against Carmelo, they start broadcasting the high school games, which is great. But it's just kind of like another form. Like TikTok is just another platform to expose people's talents, which you're doing, which I think is great.
100%. And it's actually funny. I was talking about this with somebody else today. TikTok is a great, and I'm gonna say the best platform to get your name out there. I don't think and I don't believe that TikTok is going to be what like quote unquote makes you, you know what I'm saying? Unless you're like a D'Amelio or like Addison Rae, like the guy, like those guys are the pioneers of the app, and you got to give credit where credit's due, regardless of if you like the content and stuff like that. They know what they're doing and they figured it out. But TikTok is a phenomenal way. Like if you got a small business or if you've been working on something for so long, if you're a streamer, if you're anything and you want to get your name out there and have people see you, TikTok's algorithm is literally perfect for that. Like it is it's not easy by any means, but it is so much more forgiving in terms of like people being able to see you because the algorithm, the For You page is tailored to what you like, and all it takes is for one video to blow up to get like all those people over to your page, which then translates it over to like Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that.
Right.
Because I mean, I don't know if you're on TikTok, like scrolling on TikTok.
I'm not. So again, I've been catching some flack for not being on TikTok, and I was like, well, one of my buddies does it, so maybe I'll ask him, and maybe I'll try it out. I mean, I have some ideas for certain things, but it's just so many social media platforms.
Yeah.
I never want to get to where I'm like, feel like I'm a prisoner to it. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm more fearful of it than anything, but maybe.
I mean, I used to be like more addicted to like the scrolling aspect of it. But like now that I'm a creator on it, I really don't scroll that much. I don't really spend a lot of time like looking at the content. I just make the content and stuff like that. But like playing both parts, because I used to be the guy scrolling. Now I'm the guy making the videos. Like it is extremely addicting. I remember, dude, in college, going to bed, getting in bed at 11, and at 2 a.m. still be scrolling on the For You page.
That's amazing.
No question. It's unbelievable. And you don't even think about it. Like you don't even think about because it's so easy just to see another video and you just keep doing it. And the videos would come up where it'd be like, oh, stop scrolling. You've been scrolling too long. And I would just ignore them, keep scrolling, stuff like that. It's a great way to get your name out there. It really is. There's so many people on it.
Well, if Pasquale ever needs a country bumpkin friend, then I know a guy. How about that?
We got you. You need to come on. We got you all the time. Okay. Listen, I like to say it like this: we're going to the moon. Okay. And on the trip to the moon, there's only so many seats that you could take, people onto the moon with you. I got a seat written with your name on it right here. Anytime you want to take a seat, feel free. Go right ahead.
All right. I'll start trying to develop the character, and we'll see if it passes your criteria.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure there'll be no problems.
All right, last thing. Any kind of goals that you want to accomplish that you want to share in the near future? Like for me, I was thinking about this for you and a couple of other guys because I've seen you. One, I do love your podcast, Nicky Podcast. Everybody check that out. Two, the Brilliantly Dumb podcast. You've done that? You've appeared on that with some of the other guys.
Yeah.
I would love to see TikTok fund a movie with all of y'all's characters. Like I think that would be super dope. Like all of you all write something.
That is a phenomenal thing to say, and it just validates that like what we talk about, like how we feel like we're providing value to like our audience and stuff like that. Like by you saying that just like is awesome because it really validates like the things that we're talking about. Because I feel like we really have something to where like it's not. It's for everybody. I mean, we go, me and Bob, the guy, his name is Bob, and he's the host of the Brilliantly Dumb show. Yeah. And I was a fan of his for quite some time.